Hello, Libra, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of May 24th through the 30th. And during that time, we have a first quarter moon that comes in on the 24th. And that's a time when you might feel impulsive, impatient. Your mind might be very active. So it's a good time to either decide to control and dominate those impulses and just take them by the horns and say, not today, or just kind of relax. So whichever way you decide to deal with that is fine, honestly. So we then have the rest of the week with a waxing gibbous energy, and that is a time for a deeper understanding and outlook. We're going to be acting on our intuition and our introspection, but it's also a time when we can demonstrate that we can be flexible. There might be things that come up that we've started during that new moon and we need to make adjustments on, and it's just a good time to make those adjustments and then forward move ahead. So keep those moon energies in mind, Libra, as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter, Libra. So, as always, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't here on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is that emotions are running high. All right, let's see what the Libra Collective has going on for the week. As I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder is that you keep a spiritual journal. Sometimes we don't recognize the patterns that are evolving in our life when it comes to our spiritual experiences. So, keeping a journal and keeping track of those things, and this could be things that you're learning, it could be synchronicities that you're having, maybe dreams that you're having. Um, just all of those things that are in that spiritual realm. It's just a good way for us to have a thing to look back on for like emerging patterns, or just to kind of spark your memory on some things. Maybe I've been seeing a lot about premonition dreams online, which is something that I've occasionally experienced, and I'm fascinated by this topic. But you're not going to know if you've had a premonition dream if you've forgotten a dream that you had. So you do need to journal those and write those down. So that's just one example of things that you might want to keep in that spiritual journal. So anyway, that is my fun weekly reminder for the week. Let's get right into this reading, Libra. I will stop babbling, I swear. So, Libra, May 24th through the 30th, emotions are running high. Your present energy right now is the Star card. So, the Star card is about the direction that you're going to go in when it comes to your life, the things that are going on around you. Are you headed in the right direction? Are things working out for you? Sometimes if your emotions are running high, it could be that things really aren't working out, and you think your life should be heading in a certain direction, and you're just seeing these roadblocks, and that can be very frustrating and can kind of cause emotions to be a little higher than usual. So let's take a breath and relax and realize that everything happens in the universe on the universe's time, not yours. So just understand that maybe there is a direction of things, and you might not be seeing it play out the way you want it to, but that doesn't mean it isn't kind of written in the stars and playing out the way it needs to. All right. What is your current situation is the strength card. So you're trying to be strong through this, which is fine. That's a great way to deal with it. Just be strong through it and be strong and understand that, again, the universe has its way of working things out. And it could just be a timing thing. So let things work out in their own time. At the root of your situation is some anxiety. So you're definitely feeling it, you know, and maybe it should be about kind of learning how to let this go. Maybe this is just a test for you. You're wanting to do a thing, and it just doesn't seem like it's working out and moving forward. Your emotions are high, so of course you're lacking in sleep. How can you let those emotions go? How is this a learning experience for you to learn how to manage whatever this is coming in a little bit better, so that you're not all stressed by it? That's really no way to go through life. So that's at the root of it, is you're feeling this anxiety. And it could be, again, it could just be something that you want to happen, something you're trying to move forward in this. You've got this roadblock. I just keep seeing the word roadblock. So just let those blocks clear when they may. They do clear eventually, right? In your recent past, is you're feeling a little bit of self-satisfaction about things. And I think maybe the confidence that, like, oh yes, things are going to go exactly as I've planned them. And you know what, what is the saying that, I'm thinking good things come to those who wait, but that's not what I'm thinking. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, because things might not go actually as you planned. There's another saying, maybe it'll come to me, but that's kind of the feeling I'm getting, is that you were planning on this thing just going so smoothly, and it might just be that we're just not quite there yet. So let things play out and let's relax. And maybe, that anxiety, when you start to feel that anxiety and focus on it, it just brings more anxiety. So it's almost like it's very hard to get out of that cycle to not focus on it. But you do need to kind of learn how to relax. Your emotions are running very high. Meditate, take a big deep breath, and try to get through it. What's on your mind this week is the Queen of Cups. So definitely you need to be in the business of understanding your emotions. Why are you so anxious? What is this roadblock? Is it anything? If it's nothing that has to do with you, you just kind of have to learn patience, maybe learn inner strength a little more, and learn how to just be patient and wait till these things work out for you. What is just ahead of you this week is a little bit of a celebration. So it could be that these things do work out, or you have some little mini what's the word, mini success on something. Something works out in a great way. It may not be the whole full thing, but and also this is a good way to take your mind off of this anxious feeling, is just get with friends, get with family, relax a little bit. Just try to get rid of some of that anxiety that you're feeling. It's almost like the anxiety is fueling the thing to not happen, and it's almost until you learn the lesson. So learn the lesson, learn how to relax, get with some friends and family, and then maybe all of a sudden that roadblock is lifted and you're like, oh, well, that's amazing. I'm not anxious, and therefore now things are going to move as planned. We're going to be right on course with the star card. And your advice position here, Libra, is the Five of Wands. I'm sorry, I said wands, but I meant to say swords. Five of Swords. So let's talk about Five of Wands since I said it. The Five of Wands is about conflict and debate. Okay. The Five of Swords is about, it's almost like the debate's over and I said the thing I meant to say and I said it. And there it is out in the open, right? The advice is to go ahead and speak up. There could be something that is kind of roadblocking you because something needs to be said. It could need to be said to maybe a person that has a little more control over the situation than you do. Let me grab a drink real quick. Or it could be that someone that you're working with, that you just need to say the thing to get the ball rolling, right? The advice is to go ahead and speak up and say the thing, and be kind. You may hurt feelings while you're saying it, but it's almost like it needs to be said in order to get the ball rolling. So besides trying to get rid of that anxiety by celebrating with friends, it may come out of this conversation with friends that, like, oh, the reason you're having this roadblock is because of this. And maybe it is another person, and you have to say to that person, hey, let's take care of this blockage. Let's get it going, right? And they might be like, well, I'm doing everything I can, and their feelings a little hurt. But I feel like you do need to say the thing to get the ball rolling so that things are so that things are moving in the direction that you want them to be in. What is beyond your control this week is the Page of Swords, and that might be new for you. Page of Swords is about new thoughts, new ideas, new ways of communicating things. So, and maybe you communicate this. Maybe it's not in person. Maybe you just pop an email over. Maybe you are an in-person thing, but it's time to just send a little text message. Do something that's not as confrontational as that. Um, and see if that new way of communicating starts to kind of get the ball rolling a little bit on whatever it is that you feel like. I feel like you feel like this person is a part of the roadblock, and maybe you can kind of get that blockage moved by communicating it in a different way and maybe being a little less direct, right? All right, what is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Your secret desire, of course, is being the Queen of Pentacles, which is really understanding the material world, the financial world, how these things all work out. It is your secret desire to be that. Maybe you're not quite that yet, or you're kind of just trying to avoid that. You're trying to let someone else handle that at this time. But that's a big question for you this week, is do you really want to have a good understanding of how this works financially, how this works materially in this realm? Of whatever it is that you're working on, or are you just trying to hand this off to someone else? You're trying to avoid that altogether. So this is a big question for you to answer. And so go ahead, and there's no right or wrong. Different Libras will answer this in different ways, but definitely ask yourself that question and understand your answer. In your outcome position is the Four of Swords. So lots of swords, lots of thinking, lots of communicating. Four of Swords is about rest, relaxation, meditate. Try to get your thoughts together, which again, all these things to just try to take care of this anxiety. You've got to use your inner strength. You've got to hang out with some friends. You have to say the things that need to be said, but you also need to just center yourself, rest and meditate, and understand that you're manifesting whatever this is. You are manifesting your world. If it's anxious, you're manifesting that anxiety, and you need to learn how to look at the bigger picture, manifest the thing that it is that you want instead of manifesting the roadblock. Hope that makes sense. What's hidden from you this week, Libra, is the Six of Pentacles, which is about feeling like an outsider. So I don't feel like that's a big issue for you this week. Um, and this is kind of the comparison card, comparing yourself to others, which I don't see you really doing that this week. This is a situation where you're focusing, these are about your thoughts, your ideas, and you're trying to work through this on your own, which is commendable. So keep working on it. Your emotions are running high, but you're definitely going to get there. I've got a card turned around here. Let's turn it back around. All right, let's get you a Soul Oracle card and wrap up this reading. Soul Oracle card for Libra as they learn how to manifest the positive, not the anxiety. All right, and the card that comes out for you, have faith. Yeah, have faith that things are going to work out, that you've got the Star card. That's about the direction, things being on course, on direction. And the timing is just not quite there yet. So when things bust through, when you do the things to maybe get rid of that roadblock, which would be, manifesting, letting it go a little bit, resting, meditating, when you start to do those things and be a little bit more positive, have faith that that roadblock will open up and things will start to flow again. All right, let's get you a self-care wisdom card. Self-care for Libra this week. Self-care for Libra as they're going through this anxiety this week, and it's the card called Focus. If you focus on what you don't want, there's a good chance you might get it. Focus on what you do want instead, and that is exactly what I've been saying. If you continue to focus on this thing that you don't want, that's what you're going to get. You're just going to get more of it. So find those ways. Is it meditation for you? Is it hanging out with friends and putting some things aside? Is it communicating, in a new way, things that you want or need? But your emotions are running high. You need to just have faith that this will work out eventually. Keep your eye on the prize, right? All right, Libra, thank you so much for being here. I do hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use in a positive way in your life this week. If you're comfortable sharing, drop me a comment down below and let me know if this is resonating with you or if you have questions. I'd be happy to answer those. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe is really super helpful, and I appreciate that so much. So thank you so much, Libra, for being here. Come back next week and let's see where this story goes. Bye-bye.